Hello dear students, here we are again with the topic named current electricity, and in this topic, in this unit, we are going to discuss about Wheatstone bridge and meter bridge. Before going to these topics, I just want to revise you the two laws which we had studied in the previous video, that is Kirchhoff's current law and Kirchhoff's voltage law, because without these two laws, we will not be able to deal with Wheatstone bridge, meter bridge, and any other further topics of current electricity. So, in Kirchhoff's law, we have studied that the incoming current at any junction is equal to the outgoing current. Suppose I1 is the amount of current, I2, I3, I4, I5. So Kirchhoff's current law or Kirchhoff's first law says that incoming current at any junction will be equal to the outgoing current from the junction. So what is the incoming current? I1 and I2 is the incoming current at this junction. So I1 plus I2, this current will be equal to the outgoing current, that is I3 plus I4 plus I5. Or we can write it in other way also, that is I1 plus I2 minus I3, I4, I5. This must be equal to 0. If we are considering the incoming current as positive, that means the outgoing current will be in with the negative sign. Or if you are considering the incoming current as negative, then outgoing current will be positive. That means that the summation of all the currents, incoming and outgoing currents, will always be 0. This is Kirchhoff's current law. And this law is based on the law of conservation of charge. And it is a very important law which we use to distribute the current in the whole circuit or electrical network. This is first law. Second law is, if there is any circuit and we are having few resistances in the circuit, few batteries are also there. So second law, Kirchhoff's second law says, that summation of all the EMFs will be equal to the summation of the individual potential differences across each resistance. While using this law, we have to use certain conventions. And what are those conventions? That if there is any battery and the loop which we had taken is in this direction, that is, according to our loop, the direction of current flow is from negative to positive. That means the EMF will be taken as positive. Whereas if there is a battery and the direction of loop is from positive to negative, then the EMF will be considered as negative. The sign convention which we take over here will be negative. If there is any resistance in the circuit and the current with the help of Kirchhoff's first law flows in a particular direction and the direction of your assumed loop is same as the direction of current flown with the help of Kirchhoff's first law, then the potential difference across this resistance will be taken as positive. And if, according to Kirchhoff's first law, the direction of current is in the particular direction and the loop is in according to the assumed loop, the direction of current flow is in the opposite direction, then we have to consider it as the negative potential difference. In case of battery, we will not be seeing the direction of current with the help of Kirchhoff's first law. Only the loop directions will be assumed. Whereas in resistance, we have to see both the direction, that is the direction with the help of Kirchhoff's first law and according to the assumed loop. So here we are having these two laws, and this Kirchhoff's law is based on the law of conservation of energy. Law of conservation of energy. And it is also called as Kirchhoff's voltage law. Whereas the Kirchhoff's first law is also called as Kirchhoff's current law. Current law. In short, it is also called as KCL, whereas this is called as KVL. So while applying these Kirchhoff's laws, first we have to use Kirchhoff's first law for the direction of the flow of current. And after that, for making the equations, we have to use Kirchhoff's voltage law. This we had studied in our previous video. So today, our topic of discussions are Wheatstone bridge. And after that, on the basis of Wheatstone bridge, we will be making an instrument, simplest instrument, that is meter bridge. So Wheatstone bridge. What is Wheatstone bridge? Basically, it is the arrangement of 4 resistances used to determine one of these resistances quickly and accurately in terms of the remaining 3 resistances. So this is the actual arrangement which you are seeing the diagram over here. That is, it is in the form of bridge. That's why it is called as bridge. Wheatstone is the name of the scientist who discovered this bridge. In this bridge, P and Q are the given resistances. These two resistances are the given resistances. Suppose X is the resistance which is unknown to us, and we have to determine this unknown resistance. Here R is, suppose, a variable resistance which we can vary according to our calculations. According to our calculations. So this bridge can be used to determine this unknown resistance X. How we can determine this unknown resistance X? So for determining this unknown resistance, here we are having a balanced Wheatstone bridge. When this bridge is said to be balanced, so this bridge is said to be balanced when the potential difference across the galvanometer is 0. That means galvanometer के across जो भी potential होगा, that means potential at B and potential at D will be same. So this bridge is said to be balanced. This bridge is said to be balanced when the potential difference across the galvanometer is 0. Across the galvanometer is 0 means the potential at B must be equal to potential at D. If potential at B and potential at D is same, that means no current will flow through, the branch BD or through the galvanometer. What is galvanometer? Galvanometer is a device which is used to detect current. It is used to detect current. So what we have to do is, if no current flows through this galvanometer is the electrical device, so that means it also have some resistance. It will also have some resistance. So suppose the resistance of this galvanometer, I am considering it as G. G is the resistance of the galvanometer over here. So if no current flows through this galvanometer, if no current flows through this BD branch, that means the potential difference across the galvanometer is 0. Means if VB minus VD अगर हम करेंगे बेटा यहाँ पर, तो VB माइनस VD की हमें जो वैल्यू मिलेगी वो 0 मिलेगी। तो इसको हम इस तरीके से बैलेंस करेंगे, इस वेरिएबल रेजिस्टेंस को इस तरीके से एडजस्ट करेंगे कि हमें यहां इस गैल्वेनोमीटर के थ्रू हमें किसी भी तरीके का कोई करंट ना मिले। इफ नो करंट फ्लोज थ्रू दी गैल्वेनोमीटर, तो अंडर बैलेंस्ड कंडीशन मींस इफ नो करंट flows through galvanometer, then this condition is arrived. What is this condition? The ratio of P and Q resistance will be equal to the ratio of resistances, that is R upon X. So that means P upon Q will be equal to R upon X can be obtained if no current flows through the galvanometer. So unknown resistance can be determined in terms of these three resistances, these three given resistances. So for determining this X, we are using R as a variable resistance, which is adjustable so that no current flows through the galvanometer, and we can reach to this condition. If no current flows through this galvanometer, we can directly apply in any of our practical problem that P by Q will be equal to R by X. So X can be determined as Q by P dot R. It is very important to note that it doesn't mean कि ये जो सर्किट डायग्राम है, ये सर्किट डायग्राम हमेशा बेटा आपको ऐसा ही मिले। इट्स व्हीटस्टोन ब्रिज को हम दूसरे तरीके से भी बना सकते हैं। जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर ये मेरा रेजिस्टेंस P है, दिस रेजिस्टेंस इज Q, बीच में हमने लगा दिया बेटा गैल्वेनोमीटर विच इज डिटेक्टिंग द करंट, और यहां पर मैंने एक रेजिस्टेंस लगा दिया बेटा R, एंड यहां पर हमने यूज कर लिया X, और इन सबको हमने कनेक्ट कर दिया एक बैटरी से। मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट बात जो आपको ध्यान रखनी है कि ये जो भी स्क्वायर है, इस स्क्वायर फॉर्म में जो दो डायगोनल्स हैं, एक डायगोनल के अक्रॉस आपने बैटरी कनेक्ट की है और दूसरे डायगोनल के अक्रॉस आपने क्या चीज कनेक्ट की है? गैल्वेनोमीटर कनेक्ट किया है। तो ये चीज, ये जरूरी नहीं है ये वायर्स का अरेंजमेंट है, ये वायर का अरेंजमेंट ये बिल्कुल जरूरी नहीं है कि ये जिस तरीके से आपका एक रोम्बस बना हुआ दिखाई दे रहा है इसी तरीके का रोम्बस दिखाई दे। इट कैन बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ रेक्टेंगल ऑल्सो। तो देखो यहाँ पर ये जो दो पॉइंट्स हैं, इन दो पॉइंट्स के अक्रॉस आपने बैटरी लगा दी, और जो दूसरे पॉइंट्स हैं इनके अक्रॉस आपने क्या लगा दिया है? गैल्वेनोमीटर प्लेस किया है। So what we want to do is we want to determine this balance condition कि ये P by Q upon R by X आता भी है या नहीं आता है। So now we are going to derive this condition. How we can derive this condition? So here we are having a arrangement, and in this arrangement here we are having a battery जिसका हमने वोल्टेज कितनी मान ली है? जिसकी हमने वोल्टेज V मानी है। अगर मैंने इसकी वोल्टेज V मानी है बेटा, here S1 and S2 are the switches जिनको हम कभी भी ऑन या ऑफ कर सकते हैं। If current of I amount flows through the circuit, तो ये I amount का करंट यहां जाएगा। अगर ये I amount का करंट इस पहले जंक्शन पर पहुंचेगा, it will get distributed। तो जो ये डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होगा, इस डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में सपोज मैंने यहां पर I1 अमाउंट का करंट भेज दिया, इस डायरेक्शन में हम कितना करंट भेज पाएंगे बेटा? I minus I1 current will be flown through AD branch. This I1 current will reach to another junction at B, and this current is again distributed in two parts. And suppose the current through galvanometer which is flowing is suppose IG. If IG current is distributed over here from I1, so the remaining current will flow through BC branch, and that will be I1 minus IG. This IG current will reach to another junction that is D, and from the junction A, I minus I1 current is flowing. I minus I1 current is flowing from the junction A. This I minus I1 and this IG is reaching to another junction that is D, and both these current will be added, and this current will flow through this combined current, that is I minus I1 plus IG will flow through the branch DC. Once the current I minus I1 plus IG flows through DC, and through BC branch I1 minus IG current flows and reaches to junction C, then the current through C will be I only. This shows the current which has drawn from the battery was I, and the current received after flowing the whole circuit is I. That means the distribution of current is exact and correct. Now, what we have to do is we have to apply KVL. This distribution we have done with the help of KCL. Now we are applying the Kirchhoff's voltage law. For Kirchhoff's voltage law, here we have to identify that how many unknown resistances are there. As we can see, we are having 3 resistances, and to reach to the balance condition, we have to assume that Ig must be 0. Only then we can say that the bridge is in the balanced condition. So what I have done is I am going to apply the KVL in 2 loops. Suppose in loop ABDA, I am going to apply KVL. So for applying KVL, we have to assume a particular direction of current flow. According to us, it can be clockwise or it can be anti-clockwise. So here I am taking the direction as clockwise direction. If this is a clockwise direction, and I can see that in ABDA loop, we don't have any battery. That means there is no EMF in the loop. So summation of EMF will be 0, because KVL says summation of E must be equal to summation of I into R. So as we can see, there is no battery in this loop, so summation of E is going to become 0. What about the potential differences? As we can see, the direction of current flow according to KCL in branch AB is from A to B, and according to the direction of our assumed loop, it is exactly the same, that is from A to B. So the potential difference across the resistance P must be taken as positive. So here we are taking it as I1P. Now, on reaching to the galvanometer, we can see the direction of current by KCL, and according to assumed loop, it's same. So the potential difference across the galvanometer will also be taken as positive, that is Ig. Now we can see that the direction of KCL and the direction of assumed loop is exactly opposite through branch AD. So the potential difference across R will be taken as negative, and it can be written as minus I1 into R. This is equation number 1. Now we can select another loop, and I am selecting the second loop as loop BCDB, and I am assuming here also a clockwise direction. It's up to us to assume clockwise or anti-clockwise. As KVL is a very intelligent law, if you assume the direction anti-clockwise also, you are going to get the same result as we are going to get through the clockwise direction. So here also we don't have any battery, so the summation of EMF will be 0. This will be equal to, in branch BC, the direction of current is same as the direction of assumed loop, so the potential difference will be taken as positive, that is I1 minus Ig into Q. In CD branch, the direction of assumed loop and the direction through KCL is exactly opposite, so it will be taken as negative, and the direction and the current flowing through X is I minus I1 plus Ig. So minus I minus I1 plus Ig into X. Now, while reaching to the galvanometer, we can see again the direction of KCL and the assumed loop is opposite. So again, we have to take the potential difference across G as negative, and it will be minus IgG. This is relation number 2. Now, according to our balanced condition, the value of Ig must be 0. Now putting Ig is equal to 0 in both equation. So we can see I1P. So Ig will be 0 means this term will be cancelled, minus I minus I1 into R. This will be equal to 0. In this also Ig will be 0. Here also Ig will be 0. Here also Ig will be 0. So the remaining equation will be I1Q minus I minus I1 into X. This must be equal to 0. We can write this equation in this manner also. I1P is equal to I minus I1 into R, and this equation as I1Q is equal to I minus I1 into X. So this is equation, for example, number 3, and this is equation number 4. Dividing 3 and 4, what we get is I1P upon I1Q is equal to I minus I1 into R upon I minus I1 into X. So I1 will get cancel out, I minus I1 will get cancel out. So P by Q will be equal to R by X. We can write it as X is equal to P by Q into R. So this is, in this manner, we can determine the unknown resistance X with the help of Wheatstone bridge. Now, with the help of this Wheatstone bridge, we have made a simple instrument that is called as meter bridge. Now, our next topic of discussion is meter bridge. This is the simple practical application. This is the simple practical application of Wheatstone bridge, that is used to determine the unknown resistance. How does this meter bridge looks like? This is the first practical in our 12th standard physics, which we are going to do in our practical lab. So इसमें क्या है बेटा? Here we are having a wooden plank. This is the exact view of the instrument which you are going to see in your lab. This is a wooden plank. This is a wooden plank. And in this wooden plank, some copper strips are connected. These all are copper strips. And these copper strips are very thick. These are thick copper strips. As you can see how thick they are. Here, these copper strips are very thick. Why these copper strips are very thick? So that their resistance, do not affect our calculation. Because as they are thick, we know that R is equal to क्या होता है? Rho L by A. So area is increased. If area is increased, resistance will be decreased. That's why we use thick copper strips over here. Why the name meter bridge is given to it is, here as you can see there is a meter scale. This is of 100 centimeter length. That is why it is called as meter bridge. And a wire is connected on these over the scale, and this wire is made up of alloys named as constantan and manganin. Why we are using the wires of constantan and manganin? Because their resistivity is very high. Their resistivity is very high. Their alpha is very low. If their alpha is very low, that means temperature effect can be nullified. Temperature effect can be nullified. always in the meter scale, the wire is made up of constantan and manganese, and both these are alloys. As we can see, here we are having few gaps. As we can see, this is gap 1 and this is gap number 2. In the first gap, we place the resistance box. Resistance box of known resistance. Known resistance. And in gap 2, we place the unknown resistance. Unknown resistance. Through this point, we connect a wire and a jockey. And a jockey. A jockey is a device of pen form. जो क्या काम करेगा? ये पेन फॉर्म का जो बना हुआ हमारा जॉकी होगा, दिस इज मूवेबल. वी कैन मूव दिस जॉकी ओवर दिस वायर. हम इस जॉकी को क्या करा सकते हैं? मूव करा सकते हैं. एंड विद दिस वायर वी हैड कनेक्टेड अ गैल्वेनोमीटर. वी हैव कनेक्टेड अ गैल्वेनोमीटर. So this is the construction of meter bridge. Now as we can see, we are having the jockey, and if a jockey comes across at any point of the constantan or manganese wire, now we can see that here we are having some different resistance of the wire as its resistivity is very high, whereas through this also we are going to have some different resistance of the wire. So this is resistance number 1, this is resistance number 2, this is going to be the resistance number 3, and this is going to be the resistance number 4, and the galvanometer is connected between these 2 points. So if this galvanometer shows zero deflection, we will be able to find the unknown resistance through this gap. How we can find the unknown resistance through this gap? For this, we are having a diagram of certain type. Through this point A and B, we have connected a Leclanché cell. What is Leclanché cell? Leclanché cell is a dry cell which is used in the labs. R, as I have already told you, this is the resistance box. I have told you why we are using thick copper wires. We are using thick copper wires so that their resistance can be nullified. Only the resistance of R, X, and the wire through this length, A to J length and J to B length resistance can be considered, and all other wires, all other copper wires do not have, should have the negligible resistance. So what we can do is, the wire is of 100-meter length. We have to move the jockey from this particular, suppose the pen is connected to a wire and this pen is conducting, and if we move the jockey, this pen, jockey means a pen which can be moved over this wire AB. So from point A, we start moving the jockey over the wire, and we find that at particular point P, the galvanometer shows zero deflection. Zero deflection. So as we know that this wire is on the meter scale, so we'll come to know that at particular length, the galvanometer shows zero deflection. Most important point is, this wire of manganese and constantan must be uniform throughout. ये कहीं पर भी कम ज्यादा एरिया का नहीं होना चाहिए, and it should have same composition. So now what we can see is, AP, resistance of AP wire can be determined as RAP. Will be, this AP is of length, AP wire of length L, and area, it is uniform throughout. That means area remains same. So we had assumed it area as A. So RAP, same composition means resistivity is going to remain same. So rho L by A will be the resistance offered by RAP. Now the resistance of PB wire, and the length of PB wire is 100 minus L. 100 minus L. So RPB will be equal to rho 100 minus L upon A. This is RPB. As the galvanometer shows zero deflection when jockey comes at point P, that means the bridge is balanced. Here we are having 4 resistances. And what are those 4 resistances? As we can see, here R is connected, here X is connected, and a galvanometer is connected, and this galvanometer is connected with a jockey, and here we are having the resistance of the wire RAP, and here we are having the resistance of the wire, that is RPB, and a battery is connected. As we know that these wires do not have any resistance, as they are made up of thick copper wires. As they are made up of thick copper wire, it means that their resistance can be neglected. So we can see that no current flows through galvanometer. No current flows through the galvanometer. Only then we stopped at point P. That means the galvanometer is in the balanced condition, as it shows zero deflection. So what we can do is we can apply Wheatstone bridge. Wheatstone bridge. While applying Wheatstone bridge, the condition is P by Q is equal to R by X was the only condition which we had studied. So in place of P, here we are having R. In place of Q, we are having X. In place of R, we are having RAP. And in place of X, we are having RPB. Here, the unknown resistance is X for us. So to determine X, what we are doing is we are placing the value of RAP and RPB. For placing the value of RAP, here we are going to write rho L by A. And in place of RPB, we are going to write rho 100 minus L upon A. So rho and rho will get cancelled out, A and A will get cancelled out. So what we are going to get over here is R upon X will be equal to L upon 100 minus L. So X can be determined as R 100 minus L upon L. So as we know that R was known to us because we had placed the resistance box of certain resistance, and we know this particular length because while doing the experiment we'll come to know this length L, and if this length is L, so the remaining length must be 100 minus L. And all these 3 things, 1, 2 and 3 things are known to us. With the help of these 3 things, we'll be able to find the unknown resistance X. So this was the this is going to be the formula to determine the unknown resistance X. So this meter bridge is based on Wheatstone bridge. If somebody asks you what is the principle on which the meter bridge is based, so you can answer that meter bridge is based on Wheatstone bridge. This meter bridge is also called as slide wire bridge. It is also called as slide wire bridge. Here we can increase the sensitivity of this Wheatstone bridge. So how we can increase the sensitivity of Wheatstone bridge? What do we mean by sensitivity? as we know that if on our skin any ant comes and move over our skin, we come to know that yes, something is moving on our skin, as our skin is very, very sensitive. So what we want is, we want to measure a very small resistance also with the help of Wheatstone bridge. For that, the sensitivity of the Wheatstone bridge must be very high. So what we have to do is, to increase the sensitivity, we need two factors. Number first is relative magnitudes, relative magnitudes of the resistances, in the four arms of the bridge. The sensitivity depends on the relative magnitudes of the resistances. So it becomes very sensitive. It becomes very sensitive when all the four resistances are of same order. Number second is, its sensitivity also depends on the relative positions of battery and galvanometer. So to increase sensitivity depends on two factors. What do we mean by sensitivity? Bridge is said to be sensitive. Bridge is said to be sensitive if it shows large deflection in the galvanometer for a small change in resistance in the resistance arm. Means, if there is a very small change, and if galvanometers do not show any deflection, any large deflection, it means it is not that much sensitive. If suppose some resistance 1 ohm is there, and if we replace that 1 ohm by 1.1 ohm, then also the galvanometer must show some deflection, a large deflection. Then we can say that this bridge is very, very sensitive. And the sensitivity depends on two factors. Number one, it depends on the relative magnitude of the resistances in the four arms of the bridge. और ये सबसे ज्यादा सेंसिटिव कब होगी? जब सारे के सारे रेजिस्टेंसेस सेम ऑर्डर के होंगे. एंड दूसरी इंपॉर्टेंट बात, जिसके ऊपर आपकी रिलेटिव पोजीशंस जो बैटरी की हैं और गैल्वेनोमीटर की हैं, उसके ऊपर भी इसकी सेंसिटिविटी डिपेंड करती है. So these were the two topics which we had studied in this video, that is meter bridge and Wheatstone bridge. Stay healthy, stay fit. God bless you all. Thank you.